What's up, guys? Roman Gennaro from Empire Sports Talk here, coming to you to talk about probably one of the busiest NBA trade deadlines that I can remember, and it's still not over yet. But specifically in this video, I want to talk about LeBron James. It came out the other day that LeBron and the Lakers are mutually agreeing to part ways after this season. I specifically say after this season because there was rumors about would he be traded at the deadline. That appears to be unlikely. But more than likely, they will part ways after the season, which I see four possible outcomes to this, a couple that are more likely than the others, and I will go over each one. The first possible outcome, and the most likely, is retirement. LeBron James is 41 years old. He's already the all-time leading scorer. He's already won multiple titles, multiple MVPs. He doesn't have a lot left to prove. He played in LA where he wanted to play. He's played with his son now, which he wanted to do. So the most likely result of LeBron and the Lakers parting ways after his age 41 season is retirement. The next most likely option to me, and the one I would like to see happen most, although these next three options are far less likely in my opinion than just regular retirement, the next likeliest scenario to me is a reunion with the Cleveland Cavaliers for his final season. He's always been connected to Cleveland. Bronny came out recently and said he wants to follow in his father's footsteps and build a legacy in Cleveland, so this would pave the way for maybe a sign and trade for both of them, something like that. The reason why the trade couldn't happen this year was because of Cleveland's financial situation. They're a second-tier team. They're over the cap. They didn't really have the financials to make it happen. But a trade that they did just make yesterday might have cleared that up. They traded Darius Garland to the Los Angeles Clippers for James Harden. James Harden in his age 36 season is still putting up great numbers. 25 points a game, 8 assists. He's been one of the best passers in the NBA for the last several years now. And so the reason why this is significant, not just for the James Harden of it all, is because Darius Garland, along with a few of the other players that Cleveland has parted ways with, including Lonzo Ball, is that next year it clears up a lot of space. I believe Cleveland owed Darius Garland $42 million, something like that, next year. So by them trading him to LA, it does clear things up a bit. I don't know how much it will clear the spaces for LeBron, how much of a pay cut he's willing to take, and it will probably be his last season, but given that it would probably be his last season in that case, maybe they work it out. That is the second most likely scenario I see happening, although less likely than retirement. The third option is Golden State. Golden State was expected to be for a minute in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes, although Milwaukee has just come out at the time of recording this at about 1 o'clock on NBA trade deadline day and said that they are keeping Giannis and they're exploring other trades, and they've made smaller trades since they said that. So Giannis is off the table. Golden State had previously pretty much taken themselves out by trading Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga to Atlanta for Kristaps Porzingis, which I do think is actually a great trade for Atlanta, but that's not what we're talking about. So they're basically taking themselves out of the running for Giannis, but Steph has made it clear he wants to make one more run at a title. LeBron and Steph obviously have a great relationship in their past with playing together on all-star teams and Olympics and that kind of thing. They obviously have a great relationship. LeBron has been talked about as potentially going to the Warriors for a few years now, just in rumors and that kind of thing. So that's potentially an option. And he chose the Lakers because his family liked LA and that kind of thing. So as opposed to going to Cleveland, he would not have to uproot everybody. The family could stay based in LA. So this is potentially an option, one of the more likely scenarios, because he's mentioned he likes to play with Steph. They have a good relationship. They have for many years. So with Steph wanting to make one more run and then getting a versatile big in Kristaps Porzingis if he's healthy, and Draymond Green potentially admitting that he expects to be moved before the end of the deadline, maybe there's a path where LeBron and Steph could make one more run in 2027. And then the fourth option, although far less likely, but it makes sense just geographically, is the Clippers. The Clippers, obviously they just traded James Harden, who wanted a fresh start, so he goes to Cleveland. He takes some of the scoring load off of Donovan Mitchell. But the Clippers, before trading James Harden, were playing much better. They're still, I believe, 23 and 27 because they were off to a terrible start. But the Clippers, in the recent years, have been a good team. They still have a lot of good players. Kawhi Leonard is still there when he's healthy, and he's having a great season when he plays this season. So LeBron could potentially play his last year in LA. He stays home. Nobody has to move it. And as far as his family, and he can make one last run with the LA Clippers and potentially finally get them the title they've been searching for basically their entire franchise history. So that one is far less likely. I'm just including that for the sake of LA, that if he wants to continue playing and does not want to uproot his family for one final year, the Clippers are clearly an option. And in that new arena, with they just recently in the past couple of years unveiled a new brand identity. It's a golden marketing opportunity for the Clippers. I can see why they would be interested, and they haven't shied away from spending money in the last several years. So with that being the far less likely option, I have to include it as an option for the sake of this video. And then just a fifth one that occurred to me, you could also throw Oklahoma City in there, but I don't think that is going to happen. But LeBron has praised Sam Presti in the past for what he's done with that team, and I don't think it'll happen at all because I would assume that Oklahoma City knows they're built to last and doesn't want to do anything to blow up, the young core that they have. But I do have to include that just off the top of my head, as LeBron has praised Sam Presti in the past. But those are the likeliest outcomes. Obviously, to me, the most likely outcome is just retirement. If, you and your franchise that you basically stated you wanted to finish your career with are mutually agreeing to part ways, without you straight up saying, I'm gonna go back to Cleveland, or I'm gonna do this, it lends itself to retirement. But then, you also have to look at Cleveland that just kind of cleared the path potentially next year for a signing. But let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with LeBron James, whether he retires or if he plays another season. And if he does play another season, where will it be? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Roman Gennaro for Empire Sports Talk, and I'll see you on the next one.